Hey there, beer tubers. Welcome back to Maxwell Starr's beer review. Tonight we're going to take a look at another beer from the Irish Beer Discovery Pack. We'll take a look at the last one, Smithwick's. Smithwick's is technically an ale, premium Irish ale, more like a red ale style, since 1710. 5% ABV. A little bit of a backstory is that I believe Smithwick's is the original type, whereas Kilkenny was released as the export version of this particular beer. Although Kilkenny's kind of evolved into its own beer in its own right. However, this is the original ale. Whether it actually tastes and looks like the original ale is beyond me. It's of course another product from the Diageo company, which has the I felt the widget in there for a second. No, they don't. It's otherwise known as the company, or Diageo, or Diageo, whoever you want to call it. They're the company that manages, obviously, the brands of the Guinness Company, as well as other liquor companies around the world. And I think, isn't Captain Morgan part of Diageo? Diageo? I can't remember. The only Diageo I know well enough is High School Mighty's cat. So, I'm going to take a look at this one and see what we think. Pour here. A little bit of an amber in color. Not a head. I'm going to pour it a little slower, I guess. There's still more in the can. I'm getting a real bubbly head. Fair amount of carbonation. Kind of like a brown amber kind of appearance. It looks brown here, like an iced tea, but if I hold it up to the light, I get a lot more amber out of the body. Looks like a blood red almost in the center, but not quite. A little bit more yellow and orange. It's a lot like an amber. Maybe not quite. More red than amber. Yeah. The head is actually an off-white. It's almost like a slightly nutty brown. And very bubbly. It's got this nice larger, medium-sized bubbles in it. And I have half-decent head retention as well. Although the head is dying enough that I could probably put the rest of the beer in, it has stuck around an impressively long amount of time. Looks good enough to drink, so let's give it a sniff. Slightly malty, bit of a nutty aroma to it. Touches like a very faint touches of like a red fruit, and more like a fruit punch than a cherry. Like your McCain's fruit punch. Red apple or something. And a touch of like an herbal hop aroma. Smells good enough to drink, so let's do so. It's not exactly bursting with flavor, but it's smooth. It's got this almost like a roasty bitterness. Roasted bitter. Comes across the tongue with this almost like a coffee with red fruit. And a caramel. You alright? Yeah. And leaves the mouth somewhat, actually quite dry, and yeah, it makes you want to take another sip. Leaves the mouth quite dry and leaves this earthy bitterness, a very earthy bitterness in the back of the tongue. But it's not like it's a very strong bitterness. It's not like your bitters or your IPAs. It's a lot milder than that. It's like very much so like an Irish red ale, except not as absolutely malty or as potent as some of the ones that I've had. It's probably like a medium-bodied beer. It's not absolutely heavy, but it's not absolutely light either.
I like it.
It's not bad.
I like the is it like grape, almost grapey?
A little bit of like a fruity kind of taste to it. and with a, it's like almost like a brown sugar with an earthy bitterness.
It's not one I don't think that you could, like Harp, I don't think you could go through this really fast either.
I don't think you can go through Harp very fast either.
That's what I'm saying, is it's not...
It's a thicker beer.
It's not, this is not another, it's not a session beer either, I don't think. I think other than the Guinness, you're not really...
Yeah, the only one I could really chug a lot of is the Guinness, and...
Maybe the Kilkenny.
Yeah, the Kilkenny's pretty good. This one weighs a lot heavier in your stomach.
But, you know...
It's like what Heist Almighty said about the Kilkenny and the Smithwick is like it's a ticket to Bloat City.
Yeah. But if you take your time with it, it's actually kind of nice. But, you know.
Yeah, it's got some nice taste.
But this is not something I don't think you want to have to session at a St. Paddy's Day.
Yeah, if you were to go to St. Patrick's Day party, while it's an authentic Irish beer, you probably wouldn't go through it quite as fast.
You'd feel pretty gross if you went through this real fast.
It fills you up.
Yeah.
And that goes for just about anything in the Irish beer pack, is that it'll fill you up before you're completely drunk. Except for the Guinness, which is a nice light stout.
Makes a nice light snack.
Makes a nice light snout. Derp. Alright, what do I got for time?
You have got 3 minutes and 10 seconds.
You know what? It's not bad. It's not absolutely great either. But I like it better than the Harp.
Excuse me. Yeah.
Honestly, I think I'd have to give something like this like a high 3.
Yeah.
Almost a 3.5, but not quite.
Yeah, that's what I don't mind it. Like you gave me, I had one the other, I had the rest of yours the other night.
Yeah, I didn't.
And I thought, okay, I'll try it, and I actually liked it.
I didn't really care for it out of the can. Like, out of the can, it had a very metallic taste. But this time, after a glass, I don't get that as much. I get a lot more of those multi flavors.
Well, you learned a lesson, didn't you?
Well, yeah, I did, I guess. Very much enjoyable, and that just goes to show for me, I guess, that I definitely prefer drinking out of glassware than out of the actual can or bottle or whatever. Yeah, I know, snob. Here you go. Nose up my ass. Alright, so high 3.0 for me, and you were...
About the same.
About the same. Alright, so for both of us, high 3.0. Anyway, thanks for watching Maxwell Starr's Beer Reviews, and we'll talk to you guys later. Cheers. You can stop melting the words, honey. Got it? Okay, stop.